This tattoo represents the power of choice and the acceptance and respect of others' choices. Because you did not make the choices that they made to become who they are, you made your own series of unique choices to become who you are. At any given moment, you have thousands of choices to choose from. These are some examples. You start making decisions right when you wake up. You make the choice to turn off the alarm. You then have a series of choices that are unique to you. You may take a shower and choose from an assortment of different cleaning materials, or maybe you start your day off with a run, which would then lead to figuring out what the weather is like. Is it cold out, raining, or snowing, or is it nice? This would then lead to what you have to wear, where there's an endless amount of combinations and styles for you to choose from. For working out, there may only be a few combinations, but that's only the beginning. The variety of shirts, pants, shorts to wear, followed by sunglasses, shoes, and hats. Do you feel overwhelmed with choices yet? But you just woke up. Stay with me. Now you choose how you get around and where you get around to, depending on what you have to do and what is available to you. There are all sorts of transportation, from a variety of cars, trucks, and tractors, to trains, light rails, and buses. Longboarding is always an option, or maybe you're used to getting around by bike. Or maybe you simply walk from place to place. This leads to some more choices. Well, where are you off to? Are you going shopping to one of these shops that you may need something from? Or are you going to eat somewhere? Depending on the choice you make, this will lead to more choices, such as what would you eat and what would you drink in a restaurant. Now, while you're at a restaurant, I want to break down the evolution of choice. Look at a cup. Now look for everything around you that has been created because the simple invention of a cup. The coffee mug, pots and pans, an endless assortment of bottles, and once again, an endless assortment of drinks. At one point, we decided that our hands couldn't hold everything that we needed, so we adapted. We created a wide variety of different containers to hold whatever it is we needed. Backpacks have pockets for your water bottle, cars have cup holders, and there are even little sleeves for you to hold either hot or cold drinks in. The list could go on. I'm sure you're thinking of ideas right now. Imagine what the world would be like if the cup wasn't invented. Think about how different life would be. Think about how completely different our lives would be if we didn't have any way to store things or hold things other than our hands. Now that we have some food for thought, on to making some more choices. There are so many things that are programmed into our everyday routine that we developed a sense that allows us to see or hear one thing over another, selective hearing and seeing. Traffic signs are a great example, because you may use the signs at first, but once you get used to an area, you may not need the signs anymore. Now for another experiment. Take a look at someone you know, surrounded by lots of other objects. Now focus on that person. You may notice everything in your peripherals seem hazy or blurry. I like to think of this as selective seeing, which is completely dependent on what you're focused on. This can change very easily with the amazing power of the eye. This idea leads to my next interesting way of breaking down the choices you make. I like to call it life's equation. It is as simple as an XY table. X is you and your reaction to Y, which is a series of choices that you have evolved from ever since you were born. Everyone's equation is unique, just like the color of everybody's eye. By the time you finish grade school, your equation is very complicated. If you look into somebody's eyes, you may see the complex, complicated creation that they have become. Every choice that you make gets processed through this complex equation to create a reaction unique to you. For example, if someone was from Texas that met someone from Hawaii, they may have a very different series of choices based upon their routine and what has happened to them in the past. Simply growing up somewhere else or being influenced by certain people, you are developed into this complicated equation that spits out a reaction for any given circumstance. How you fill the equation is completely up to you. This is where the power of choice comes in. You have 168 hours every week. Experiment with them. Try to figure out things that make you feel good and be aware of the things that make you feel bad. So later on you can focus on what makes you feel good and less on what makes you feel bad. So how do you spend your time and choices? Do you go to the gym and work out a variety of different muscles? You have a choice on how you work out, from ab workouts to arm workouts, as well as a variety of different cardio workouts. Maybe rather than working out, you spend time at home reading, or on your computer, or trying to find something to do on your phone. If it's nice out, then why wouldn't you spend time outside? You could simply sit and enjoy the weather, go for a run, hacky sack if that's what you're into, or maybe go longboarding. These are only a few examples of the choices we get to make during everyday life. There's so many choices to choose from, as most of you would know. So, are you one of those people who cooks their ramen all the way, then pours out the water? Or do you like to keep some of the broth to wash the ramen down with? Who knows? Maybe you have a completely different way of doing things. Or maybe you don't even eat ramen. In the end, it's all up to you, and you are in complete control of the choices you choose. So choose wisely.